Hello everybody, I am Krishna Rao Patro, Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today, we will discuss about one important question which is generally asked in the placement. One of the question is longest palindromic substring. That means they will give a string. In that string, you would find out longest palindrome again. So in a string, there may be multiple palindrome. Out of that, you would find out which is the highest or biggest substring, which is in palindromic nature. Palindrome means what? When you read from left to right or right to left, both must be same. That type of string is called palindrome. So, in a string, which palindromic string is longest one? That you have to find out. That is the main question. See, if they give a string like this, use literal in noon. This is the given question. Use literal in the noon. So, if you observe here, in this particular string, there are two palindromes are there. But out of two, which one is the biggest one you will find out. So, there may be some odd number of characters or there may be some even number of characters. So, in a palindrome, there may be odd characters or even number of characters also. So, here if you observe here, U is single letter. Every single letter is always palindrome. So, single letter length means 1. That will not bother. U, S, E. Here if you observe here, L, I, R, I, L, literal. So, L, I, R, I, L. This is already palindrome whose length is 5. Now again if you observe here, N, N. That is also one palindrome. But whose length is 2. All single letters are always palindrome. Though their length is 1. And if you observe here N, O, O, N, noon. N, O, O, N, noon. Whose length is 3. So here if you observe there are 3 different types of palindromic strings. But out of all, which one is the biggest one? So literal is the biggest one. So that's why the answer is literal and length is 5. Whose length is 5. So if I give this as a string, then your program should print the longest substring which is in palindromic nature and length is 5. Similarly, if I give S, E, K, C, here if you observe here, single letter S is a single letter, that is always a palindrome. Single letter E, all single letters are always palindrome, whose length is 1. Now you have to compare whose length is more than 1 also. So here if you observe here S, E, K, E, E, that is also palindrome, that is even number of characters and whose length is 2. So if you compare 1 with 2, so 2 is the maximum. So that's why E is my answer and length is 2. So this is our final goal. So how to do this? So how to solve this problem? So you have to apply some algorithm for this. There is a simple idea behind this. The idea is first you generate all even length as well as odd length substrings. Okay. So the idea is generate all even length and odd length palindromes. Because in a string, I told you there are many substrings are there. Out of all, there may be some palindromic string, there are some non-palindromic strings. As well as some are even length, some are odd length. So first generate all these things and track the longest palindrome seen so far. This is the main goal. So to generate odd length, how to generate odd length? You have to make one character as a center point. So to generate odd length palindrome, fix a center and in both direction you find out the corresponding characters. If I is the center, its right side is I plus 1 and left side is I minus 1. That means for every index you have to check its left character as well as right character. If both left and right both are equal, then automatically that is a palindrome. So first, so if I follow this, this is gives you odd length palindromic string. Because you are thinking about middle is I minus 1 is left, I plus 1 is right. So that means this logic is for to find out odd number or odd length palindromic substring. So to generate the odd length palindrome, fix a center and expand in both directions for longest palindromes. That is fix I as a index as a center and 2 indices I1 and I2. So you make 2 index I minus 1 as well as I plus 1. Now you have to compare the character available in both the place. I1 place as well as I2 place. If both are equal, that is palindrome. Then you store its length. Till length is now 3. So store it. Next, second character. Next, third character. Keep on going. So find out all length substring. Then after that, because I told you in a string there are some even length as well as odd length. So for even length, what you have to do? For even length, always you have to consider only 2 index. If I take I is my left character, its previous one, I minus 1. So ith place as well as its previous place. Now I'll check. If both are equal, then I'll store its length. So always I have to store the length of odd palindrome as well as length of even palindrome. Then after that I will compare which one is the biggest one. That is my final answer. So this I have to repeat for all the characters of the string. So take 2 indices I1 and I2, means I1 and I2. I1 is I and I2 is I minus 1, and compare the characters available at I1 and I2 and find the maximum length. So if there are n number of characters, my loop has to repeat n time, and internally again it has to check every characters. If both are equal, then you compare the previous length with current length, and every time you update. Update what? The current starting address as well as the length. And finally, print the maximum length. So this algorithm you have to apply to solve this problem. So what you have to do? You would find odd length palindrome as well as you would find even length palindrome. For odd length palindrome, you have to take I as the center, and previous is I minus 1, next is I plus 1. And always you have to check both previous character as well as next character. If both are equal, then you update the length. Similarly, for even length means what? Only you have to check 2 index. That's why I1 and I2. I1 I I2 is I minus 1. Now you compare both the characters. If both are equal, then you update its length. If both are not equal, do not update the length. So the previous is the highest. So like this, you have to repeat for entire length of the string. So the time complexity will be order of n square. So where n is the length of the string, because whatever the string you have given, that's length. So a nested traversal loop which is needed. So because loop within a loop, nested loop, that is order of n square time. And space requirement is fixed, which will not require extra space. So which takes constant amount of space. So order of 1. When there is a variable length, then the time space complexity will be changing. Whereas here fixed space, that's the order of 1. So no extra spaces. So try to know the time complexity as well as the space complexity of the particular program. Now how will you write this program? You can observe here. Initially I made length 1, and low index is 0 and high index is 0. Length of the string is, I found the length. Then here I told you put a loop. In this loop, always you have to take the 2 things, even length as well as odd length. So initially low is I minus 1 and high is I. So that means this is for what? Even length palindromic string. So if both are equal, the position means the character available low place as well as high place. If both are equal, as well as if low is greater than 0 and high is less than length, then my I will be, means low will be reducing by 1 and high will be increasing by 1, because I will be expanding in the both direction. If I is at ith place, then I will check I minus 1 as well as I plus 1 first time. Next time I minus 2 as well as I plus 2. Similarly I minus 3 and I plus 4. Like this it is keep on increasing. So till end of the length. So this is the way you are finding even length. So here I am making 2 index, lower index as well as higher index. At both the place, lower represents my left side and higher represents right side. If both characters are equal, then it says it's a palindromic nature. So that's why I will be keep on expanding. So low equal to minus 1, high equal. When the loop is failing, it indicates what? That character is not matching. So when that character is not matching, so I have to come one step again back. So again low equal to low plus 1 and high is again one step back. After that, I have to find the length. So what is the length? If the length equal to, if low equal to high, and how to find the length of the substring? Higher index minus lower index, higher index minus lower index plus 1, that gives the length. So this is the way I found the length also. So up to this, I am found length of even palindrome. Similarly, I told you there are two palindrome, even palindrome as well as odd palindrome. For odd palindrome, low is I minus 1 and high is I plus 1. See, in even I minus 1 and I only. Here I plus 1 and I plus 1. Here also same way, only two index are different. Here check whether both are equal or not. If both are equal and low is greater than 0 and high is less than length, my low is expanding as well as high also expand. Low goes towards left and high goes towards right. And when this loop is failing, it comes here and putting low one step forward and high one step backward. And here also I am finding whether the length is more or not. If length is more, I am updating my where exactly the starting position, because every time I should know the starting position of the palindrome. That's why I have remembered here start equal to and maximum length is high plus high minus low plus 1. So when the entire loop is over, by that time I will be knowing where is the starting position of the my maximum palindromic string. So starting plus maximum length, that gives the my palindrome, and print the length of the string. So this is the way. So let me execute this program in my Jupyter notebook. Here I kept my, I will write a small function called longest palindrome LPS, and here I pass my string as a parameter. This function takes my string. Then here I will write my logic. First I will write the even palindrome, and then I will find the odd palindrome. Okay, this is the main part. So before that I have to read the string. So I will read my string equal to input, enter string. The string can be of any size. Okay. After that I will call my method. What I will call? LPS. LPS of what? LPS of whatever the string you are reading, that I am calling, and whatever the value you are returning, that value I will print it. Longest. So I will print the value. So that means finally the method should return the longest length. So let me write here longest length. Longest. Yes. Okay. So read it and pass that string as a parameter to the method, and that method has to return the value. What value? The length of the longest substring. Okay. That value returns as an integer. So I will concatenate this with string of this value. Yeah. Because when this method returns integer I cannot concatenate. So I have to concatenate with the string. So that's why I am converting to string. So that means my method should return at the end the length. Length of what? The length of longest palindromic string. That value has to be printed on the screen here. So here I should write the main logic. So before that, what I have to do? I have to make what is the maximum length first. Initially, the maximum length equal to 1. Why maximum length 1? Because I told you every single character is a palindrome whose length is 1. That's why initially the length is 1. And here I will make the lower index is 0 as well as the high index is also 0 initially. And the length of the string, what is the length of the string? So you can find through length method, length of the string. So you can call this method. And this maximum length I have to return finally. So instead of length I have written maximum length. Okay. Fine. Now here I have to write my logic for finding even as well as odd. Now I'll write a loop for I in range the length of, that means starting from 1 comma length length. This loop repeats from 1 to length. I1. Actually previous index how much? Actually for every string the first index is 0. But here I am starting from 1. Why 1? Because if I take I as 1, I have to compare its previous character. That means 0 with 1. So for even, I have to take 1 and 0, whether both are equal or not, for even length. Then next, again I 1, then 2, then 3, till length it has to traverse. So I am traversing till end of the length. So what I will do, my lower index, because for even length, lower index is I much, I minus 1, and the high index is I. Wherever I is there, that means for ith character I am checking, because I and I minus 1. I minus 1 is low and I is high. If both are equal, then automatically it is a palindrome. So here I will put a condition. If I is 1, okay. If I is 2, it has to repeat 2 times. If I is 3, it has to repeat 3 times. If I is 4, it has to repeat 4 times. Like this. So I will put a loop. While, what condition I should put? Until the low is greater than or equal to 0, it has to continue. Because when the low is minus, it has to stop. Because I told you the low comes towards left side, the high goes towards right side. If low is greater than 0 and high must be what? High must be less than or equal to the length of the string. High less than length. This condition should satisfy. As well as the value, the string of low. String of low means what? The character available at lower place must be equal to the character available at high place. Let's say yeah. If both are equal and this low is greater than 0 and high is less than length, this says that this is satisfying the palindromic nature. If both are equal, what I will do? I should come one step back, because every time I am expanding, low should go towards left side and high should go towards right side. So how to go left side? By subtracting low equal to low minus 1. Similarly, how to go right side? High equal to high plus 1. So plus 1 if I do, it goes towards right side. When the loop is over, that means either first condition is satisfying or second condition is satisfying. Sorry, if first condition fail or second condition fail. So what I will do, either this condition is fail or this condition is fail, then it will, of course, whenever low is greater than or equal to 0, it is continuing. Whenever low is less than 0, it will come out. Similarly, if high is greater than length, it will also stop it. Or if this condition is also not matching, it will stop it. That means at either left side is false or right side is false, the loop will stop. So in that case, what I will do, my low is already reduced by 1 and high is already increased by 1. So I have to come back, because already that character is not matching. So why should I increment or decrement? So that's why I have to come back. So that means low is already reduced by 1. So I have to increase. So low plus equal to 1 and high minus equal to 1. That means whatever the value of increase or decrease, that you have to compensate. So this value is, so got the previous value. Now here I have to find out when the loop is over, then I have to find the maximum length. So here now, if the string of low, if this value, if it is matching with string of high, if both are equal, and here I have to update my maximum length. If both are equal, then how to find the length of my palindromic string? Higher index minus lower index plus 1. I will compare with my existing maximum length. So high minus low, that gives the length. That value plus 1. Assume high is 1, low also 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0, but actual length is 1, single character. That's why plus 1. If this value greater than max length, max LENGTH. If this condition satisfies, what I will do? I have to remember the starting position. So I will remember my starting position. Start is at low. At that position, my maximum length is available. So here also I will update max length equal to how much? Already you have calculated here. High minus low plus 1. This value. Okay. So at this point, it is updating the starting position as well as any position. So this is the logic for what? Your even length. Similarly, same thing I will copy and I will go for odd length. For odd length, what I will do? Low is I minus 1, but high will be I plus 1 I will do. See here, slightly changes. And here, my low is greater than 0 and high is less than length. And string of low is string of high, both are equal. Low equal to low minus 1 and high equal to high plus 1. And low is decremented, which already incremented, which is already decremented is now incrementing. Same logic, whatever written there. Okay. Now here also, string of low and string of high, both are equal, and high minus low, if it is less than greater than this, you update this value. And every time I am finding my maximum length. So this is continuing for what? Entire length of the string. So when the loop is over, by that time, I will be remembering my longest string. So I will print this one. Print. I will come out from the loop. Print the longest palindrome. The longest palindrome I have to print. My string is there. String from which position I have to print? From the starting index. Start. From starting position to starting plus the max length. So if I add, because I think string starting position and ending position, if I specify this, it will be the complete substring. So I know starting index as well as I know the ending index. So ending index is what? Starting plus max length. That gives the ending index. And finally, I will return by the length. Return, because I am printing that maximum length also. Of course, you can print here also. Return max length. Okay. So let me run. here, yeah, for I in range 1 to length, range 1 to length. Yeah, assume I'll write Liril in noon, LIRIL, Liril in noon. Yeah, so I got my longest palindrome Liril and length is 5. So this is the way you have to solve. So try to know this one. If at all you do not want to return the length, then what you do? You can print here itself also. So here, if you do not want to return the value, so simply you can say print max length, and here you can remove this. You can put this comment. Assume you do not want to print there. So here, print max length. Print the maximum length. That is our wish how to print. Okay, plus string, because you have to concatenate string with max length. Okay, but here you have to simply call the method. Control C. Because if you are not calling, the control will not go there. That's why you call the method, it will go there and print it. No need to return 2 times. Okay. Now run it. Assume C. Yeah. If I enter C, my answer is E and the length is 2. Okay. I hope it is clear. So this is the way you have to write the program. So this is one of the very, very important question, and it was asked in Amazon, even Google, and in Yahoo. In many interview technical round question they have asked, even in the TCS technical round. So in most of the time they will be asking this type of question to you. So you must prepare well before the exam. I hope this program is clear, and I am expecting you to practice every line, and you have to understand every line of the code. Do not by heart. Try to understand every sentence. Okay, thank you. You can go through this one. So prepare well before exam. All the best.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.